All right, our first matter at hand, back to our agenda, please, are the deputations. And 8.1 is our Integrity Commissioner, Robert Swayze, to explain the rationale for not investigating former Councillor Rass's complaint. To the Integrity Commissioner, over to you.
Let me start by saying I am sorry that I have put Council in this position, but I think I have a solution. I'm not sure if Ms. Maxwell has shared with you the opinion that I got from Airden Burles, but it very confidently advises me that I can start an investigation right now based on your resolution. The opinion recommends that the code be amended, and I've given the clerk and my suggested amendment.
And I think we're also very interested in why you thought that we couldn't proceed previously.
You clearly got another legal opinion on that. I'm putting the motion forward today because I don't think this is something that we need to take back until the end of March to the Governance Committee meeting and hash out. Perhaps it's basically what you had proposed.
Through you, Madam Mayor, I just finished reading the resolution and I'm content.
Is there another question?
And the final one was from Deputant Cynthia Anthony, who asked, why did the investigation not occur in the first place? So maybe I'll ask Andra to respond, or if the Integrity Commissioner is here, he can respond. Andra?
I can't really provide that response, unfortunately. That is a question for the Integrity Commissioner. All I can say is that I understand that he felt uncertain of his jurisdiction when he first reviewed the matter, but our understanding today, based on what he has said, is that he believes that he can proceed and is proceeding.
And whereas Section 223.8 of the Act provides that where there are reasonable grounds to believe that there has been a contravention of the Criminal Code, the Integrity Commissioner shall refer the matter to the appropriate authorities and suspend the inquiry until any resulting police investigation and charge have been finally disposed of. And despite the Act authorizing an Integrity Commissioner to resume an inquiry into an alleged code violation once any related criminal proceeding have been concluded, and despite the code containing no prohibition against the Integrity Commissioner resuming an inquiry in such circumstances, Council wishes there to be no doubt that it intends and expects such allegations to be investigated.
Councillor Sato.
So I'm going to speak to the motion as the mover of the motion, and I guess I'll put my hat on as dual hat as chair of the Governance Committee, which we followed the wording in the Municipal Act, feeling that was proper to put into the code. And the code, I want to mention, has been reviewed by successive integrity commissioners over the years, and it was never pointed out that that wording needed to be changed. But in order to be perfectly clear, I feel that we need to make this amendment to the code to clarify the intent that Council has always had for the code, and that is adding the wording, basically adding the wording that no matter what other investigation forces a suspension of the Integrity Commissioner's investigation, that we expect that they would resume once that investigation is completed. And I believe that there may be one other municipality out of the hundreds that have codes of conduct that have similar wording in their code. So it's not a usual statement that is in codes of conduct around the country. I'm pleased to bring it forward today, and I did not want to wait until the Governance Committee had our next meeting, which is not until the end of March. Usually that's what I would do if someone brings forward a request to an amendment to the code. But I think given the timing and the situation that we are under today, I think it's very prudent for us to move this.
Our code is one of the strongest in the GTHA, maybe even in Canada. However, I think that I can't presume what the Integrity Commissioner thought, but thought that maybe it didn't speak to this item specifically because of there had been a police investigation occurring. And so this is just strengthening the wording that now future Integrity Commissioners and future councils can rely on to say that, yes, in fact, there can be an Integrity Commissioner investigation after the police investigation.
As to an update on the status of the Integrity Commissioner's report. So, Diana, do you want to take that one?
Sure, I can do that. So, Sandy, the Integrity Commissioner is investigating the information and has committed to coming back to Council at a later date in April with his recommendation.
Madam Chair, through you, will this issue come to Governance Committee? Like, how does the process roll out after that?
The recommendations go straight to Council for Council's consideration. Should there be direction from Council to review the process or something further related to how the investigation all rolled out, I mean, that would be something that could be referred back to Governance, but it is Council's decision to receive, or it is Council's place to receive the report and have whatever the recommendations may be and direction related to any actions on that.
Okay, thanks, Diana.
I'm just curious that through your report, you mentioned that Councillor Rass never filed a formal complaint with you. She came to you for advice. You also suggest that you told her she must pursue it with the appropriate police force, which is in both codes of conduct here and at the region. It also says on page 10 that she was satisfied with the results of her meeting with the police, the eventual investigation, and the occurrence can be closed, was the line from the police. When you were asked to come to us on February 9th, and explain why you weren't investigating, would it not have been a simple answer to say the investigation was done by the police and the parties are satisfied and it's over? Why would you have apologized to Council for not pursuing it at our instruction? I voted with that because I thought there was an official complaint with you and you weren't investigating it. I don't understand your motivation.
Well, are you finished?
I am.
Was consulted by Councillor Raz. She did not file a formal complaint because of my advice to her, but I never did have one, so I could not conduct an investigation. Did I answer your question?
No, actually, through you, Madam Mayor. Your report clearly states both parties eventually were satisfied. You reopened the investigation because of the Council resolution? Is that why you did it?
Councillor Rouse never said to me that she was satisfied.
So did she then file a complaint with you after that?
No.
So the complaint you were investigating was the one that was the resolution passed by Council?
That's correct.
I guess I just wanted just a little bit more clarification on what you had just said there. So Councillor Rouse had gone and filed a police report, then came to you afterwards and had asked you to formally investigate the situation. And if I'm clear on what you just said, you indicated to her at the time that you did not feel within the code that you could do it, so she did not formally file that complaint. Did you then get outside legal opinion or a decision from somebody else that indicated to you that you were in fact able to investigate the situation, and that's how the investigation proceeded?
I didn't initially get a legal opinion, but I did later.
Because your opinion was that you didn't feel like you could investigate?
Correct. No, I advised her that she had to rely on the police. And
well,
the police
same thing. She had to speak to the police first, then have that satisfied so that she could pursue the Integrity Commissioner.
Initially, I was not of that opinion. I was of the opinion that the matter was finished and I couldn't resume the investigation.
And from your conversations with Councillor Rass, Why do you feel she continued to pursue the matter once the damages were paid and the police considered the matter closed?
She believed that if she filed a complaint with me that I would dismiss it. No, I never got a complaint, but I got a resolution from council directing me to investigate.
But I think it's important that we go on camera first to get an understanding from our legal team on that particular item.
Yeah, and for everyone's benefit, this is on the duties and powers of council regarding the Integrity Commissioner report.
For those who are watching, I hope they're well aware of the fact that we do not have the evidence sitting in front of us. I've never seen the video.
Remember, Councillor, that we have a threat that this is going to go to court. If it goes to court and you are looking, you've seen the video, then you're the investigator and not me. You're questioning the evidence that I've taken in. I make a recommendation. That's the process. You should not have watched the video.
Apparently there are some people on council that have seen the video and some that haven't. Most haven't. Would you suggest those who have seen the video should be recusing themselves from voting on this because they have extra information?
I had no idea. I mean, the video is under your care and control. It's unfortunate that somebody looked at it, but...
Would you, if they asked you for advice, what would you say?
I would say yes.
You do suggest, or somebody suggested, that if we accept the recommendations here, that there's some sort of legal jeopardy for us as a council. So I'm asking for Andra to clarify, can the courts make that decision, and can they decide if the IC report is accurate or inaccurate, and are we at legal jeopardy?
Well, Madam Mayor, I would answer that question in closed session.
Okay.
I will say, though, I did hear a suggestion that this council that one of your options today would be to vary the finding of the Integrity Commissioner as to whether there's been a breach of the Code of Conduct. To be clear, that is not among your powers today. You have the ability to make a decision on penalty that may be different than the recommendation from the Integrity Commissioner, but you have no power to make a different decision.
I did not like the report. I think this is a gentleman who has given his life to the city, and to do something like this has to be definitive in my head, and I'm not convinced by this report. It's a very poor report. I don't want to get into any details, but I will not be supporting the recommendation. And the recommendation, the language in it is very emotional, which kind of surprised me. Demeaning, offensive, unwanted. It's a very poor report.
It's not your role to weigh the evidence.
The finding is the finding is the finding. We ask the Integrity Commissioner to investigate on our behalf. That's his role, and we must have confidence in him. It is not for us to investigate or to cross-examine the findings. They are the findings.